born into a family where it's considered normal to kill fish, let's say, and I've got a strong tendency from past habit to kill fish, then I'm never going to question it. I'm never going to question it. The world approves of fishing, especially in our culture. So that's the tragedy. Due to my past killing, I'm born in an environment where they kill and it's considered good to kill, and I've got my own tendency to kill, and by seeing the killing, I pick up the habit and keep going. And that's the tragedy, because that's going to sow powerful seeds in my mind that'll cause me to have future suffering. And this is called, for Buddha's view, suffering rebirths that aren't human, This is the tragedy. So right now, by looking into my mind, I recognize my tendencies. I get tendency to be angry, tendency to get jealous, tendency to cheat or whatever. Well, I go, that's my habits. I own them. I own them, my own. My habits. So the wish is to try and change, at least not follow through with my habits. At least don't do them with my body and speech. First level of practice. But I own them as mine. The next one is more difficult. And that's the stuff that happens to us. This is the third track of karma. It's called experiences similar to the cause. And this is where most of our suffering is, in relation to others. Think about it. People who are mean to us, mummy who doesn't love us, daddy who's a harmful to us, the sister who cheats, who's unkind to us, the boyfriend who cheats, the boss who fires us. Ordinary experiences. Forget being raped and murdered and put in prison for doing nothing. Just the ordinary daily life. The pain we experience because of this. And we are very social beings. And this is where, if we understand attachment, when we talk about the mind, because our attachment is so hungry. Attachment is this emotional hunger, basically. And it's hungry for only the nice things. It only wants the nice things. It can only bear the nice things. Attachment can only tolerate the nice things. That's why it's good to call it a junkie. Attachment is this junkie that can't stand the bad things. So the second someone is unkind, it is unbearable to us. It's so painful. Forget the sickness and those types of things, but being harmed by others, lied to, stolen from, cheated on. It's so painful. And because, of course, we have ordinary materialist view that I don't know why, I didn't ask to get born, it's not my fault, it's all just random, it's not fair. No wonder we suffer. There's no explanation. There's no reason. It just kind of seems random. It seems like a nightmare. No wonder we go crazy. It's like hell, But the Buddha's view, the karmic one, is that's the fruit also of our past actions. The way we're seen and treated by others. For Buddha, karma is a natural law. He did not make it up. He did not create it. He is not speculating. He has observed it with the subtlety of his own mind. It's from his own observations. And he says, here are my methods, you can observe it too. This is my methods. So this is a huge one to attempt to use in daily life. A huge one. But so easy to forget it, Because we love to blame the outside. It's automatic, because attachment is hungry for nice things and then gets angry when it doesn't happen. And anger is necessarily blame. How dare that dog bark all the time? They're annoying me. It's wrong. Go to the council. Isn't it? Automatic. So to have the Buddha's view that everything that you experience at the hands of others, like the barking of the dog or the husband cheating on you, this is the result of an action of yours like that. This sounds so cosmic to us, So vague, and such a vague notion. Ego doesn't feel it like that, even remotely. So to really practice this one is so powerful. And of course, we can extrapolate here that all the good things that happen to us, which is most of the day, frankly, people kind to us. People, you go to the bank, they give you credit. You get a job. People are nice to you. You get food. This is unbelievable. Every second of the day, all the good things that happen. But the tragedy is we take them for granted. We never think of what are the causes of this. We never rejoice for a second. Wow, this is the fruit of my past virtue. How incredible, how fortunate I am. I must have worked so hard. Just like you look at your garden. What's in your garden today is the fruit of your hard work or not. If it's overcome by weeds, they're your weeds, baby. If they're overcome, if it's full of veggies and flowers, you can delight. And you'd never forget that it's the result of your hard work. But our life, we don't ever think this. We think it's not fair when bad things happen, and we also think it's just good luck when good things happen, but who cares why? Just give me more, please. Because attachment's a junkie, So when we have the view of karma, you own every second of what is happening and you delight in the good things. It's like every time you see those roses in the garden, you delight and you remember you planted them and you go, do I want more roses? Yep, I'd better plant more, baby. So do I like people being kind to me, not lying to me, not stealing from me? Yep, I better not lie, not steal. It's logical. That's how you apply karma in daily life. By seeing the good things that happen to you, people believe your words. How amazing. That's the fruit of your past non-lying. Well, continue not lying. When people do not believe your words, that's the fruit of your lying, so you stop lying. Either way, it's the same. It's the learning. You learn from it. It's not just this blanket accepting of life, eating it up like a vampire, you know. You see it as the fruit of your own actions. As Lama Zopa says, everything we experience in our life is our own karmic appearance. It's a really dynamic way of seeing every second of whatever happens. Beautiful weather, ugly weather, nice people, kind people, good people, lovely things, ugly things. It's all the result, every second of it is the result of my past actions. It's a very powerful view. Very powerful view. Very different view. And every second can be a learning to stop sowing more negative seeds and, you know, grow lots of positive seeds. That's it. Given that your mind will continue. That's the Buddha's view. That's our assumption here. That's our hypothesis here. This is really applying Buddhism in your daily life. It's how you apply the concept of karma. But we're so caught up with just thinking it's all about mindful every moment. Karma is a meaningless concept. Who cares, we think, you know.
I've got a primary school level question.
Go, darling, whatever.
So if you were born into a society that treats you badly,
Yes.
Let's say you're raised with gender and you're sexual.
A bit louder, darling.
If you're born into a society that treats you badly because of your race, your gender...
That's right, exactly. And look at the world. It's true.
Is that a result of your own karma because
Yep.
people perceive you that way? Or is it those people's karma of being intolerant? Or what?
It's all together, everything, darling. I mean, if the law of karma is applied to every sentient being, then whoever you're looking at, you can apply karma. So there's you, on the one hand, the recipient of being, you know, of racism. Then there's the other people who are the ones who, due to those past negative actions, see you in that way. Everything they're doing is due to their past karma, and everything you're experiencing is due to your past karma. It's a law for all of us. It's a law for all of us. Do you understand? Do you see?
Yeah, I mean, I do, but I don't fully comprehend it yet.
Oh, of course, darling. I mean, of course not. That's why I try to get the principle first. The world is full of many sentient beings. You agree? You've got a life, and we're all very social. And we all dynamically interact with each other. And people harm us, and people help us. Would you agree? It is as simple as that in a way, isn't it? So there you are. Let's say, due to our karma, let's say to be female. I mean, in our culture, it's not that bad, right? We can see that now. I mean, once, you know. Are you Indian?
Sri Lankan.
Sri Lankan, but Indian originally, wasn't it? From the Indian subcontinent, wasn't it? Sri Lankans? Well, you're a bit different racially, are you? I don't know. Huh?
I'm not too sure.
I'm not too sure either. But I know that, like in India, at a certain period, if you're the wife, you would have been the live wife chucked on the funeral pyre of the dead husband along with the other furniture. Yeah, of course. Probably even some parts of India still happens, darling. So, I mean, in all cultures it's been this. It's all cultures. I mean, it's in all cultures like that. So let's just say you're born as a female, in a particular, you know, we're born as a female. So, okay. If you look at your experience of suffering, let's say, if you look at a person's experience of their suffering, and you take the view of karma, then however you're being treated is the action you've done that caused it. So it was most likely you were the husband in the past life who burned his wife at the stake. But I mean, I'm sort of saying in a cliched way. If everything we experience, this is how we have to think about it. So the good one as well, the good one. If people like believe your words when you when you say something, and they believe your words, even if you're lying, but they believe you. That's your experience at the hands of others, isn't it? Well, you have to go, that's the fruit of your past truth-telling. That people now believe your words. If a person doesn't believe your words, even if you're speaking the truth, that's the fruit of your past lying. In a past life, not now, you're speaking the truth now. Everything we experience, just think of whoever you are, you're on the one hand, you're a person who does things to other people. On the other hand, you're a person who's the recipient of other people's actions. Yes, this is how we all are with each other, isn't it? So all we do is look at our experience. People treat me beautifully. That's the fruit of a past virtue similar to that. People treat me badly. That's the fruit of my past action. And then look at it from the other point of view, it's exactly the same. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm just finding it hard to look at sort of systemic inequality and then personal traits to separate that out. Because
What do you mean, sweetheart? Give an example.
if the way society treats people is fundamentally wrong.
Society means a bunch of people in a certain group, isn't it? It's a bunch of individual people all buying into a certain view about race, for example, or all buying into a certain view about gender, yeah? That's what we're saying. It's a group, that's called society, right? And we're all very social beings, aren't we? We all get born in groups, don't we? Would you see that?
Yeah.
Don't we? So then there's a bunch of people who are born into a culture that, let's say you're born in 1930s United States in the South and you have a view, of racism, let's say.
Yeah.
And you're born as a white person in that culture who thinks a certain thing about black people. Yeah. That's a group of people, all got similar views, and they all get born in the same place with their views, and they all buy into each other's views, don't they? Then, question? What's the question now?
I guess if you're a black person born during that time, you could say, I'm born black because of what I did in my past life. Or you could say, this society, these other people are fundamentally wrong, and it's...
But there's no contradiction. They are wrong. Karma doesn't contradict morality. It is wrong. It's totally wrong for someone to see that you're black and therefore you should be burned at a stake. It's insane. It's demented. Of course it's wrong. It's not one or the other, darling.
So it's much harder for a person who experiences all those systemic, I suppose, injustices because they're sort of affected by more external stimuli that would cause a lot more anger or attachment than someone who has like a really easy life and can kind of sit in the luxury of their own home and practice their
Yeah, but the person who has a really easy life is equally as ignorant as the person who has a suffering life, because both don't realise that they're experiencing the fruit of their past actions. So we only ever think of karma as the bad things anyway, which is completely wrong. But if you're born in a society where people, you're born in a nice little village somewhere in Switzerland where it's completely clean and beautiful and the mountains are all perfect and the weather's lovely and everyone leaves their doors open, everyone loves each other and it's all harmonious and virtuous, no one questions anything. That's the fruit of their own collective virtue. Everything we experience is the fruit of our past actions, good or bad. No difference. So Tibetans, for example, 6 million Tibetans, when the Chinese communists came along, started knocking down the doors, the mountains to get into Tibet, right? They've got the view of karma in their bones, like Indians have had for thousands of years, the Hindus as well as the Buddhists. It's just the world view they have. So then they understand exactly why it's all happening. They have no problem with that. They don't ask, why does this happen to me? They don't go crazy or get angry. They know why it's happening due to actions of like 1,000 lifetimes ago. That's their view. It's a big view. They know why it's happening. It doesn't mean it's right. That's why they all, back in 1987, the first mini uprising against the Chinese communists since 59. And it was all the young monks and nuns who were the radicals, who were the ones demonstrating. And they're not angry. They don't have anger. Anger says, how dare you do that to me? I don't deserve it. There's no concept like that if you have the view of karma. I mean, if you seriously practice it, And for them, they seriously practice it. It's because it's simply morally wrong. They know why it's happening. Karma is simply like botany. It explains why there are weeds in the garden. It doesn't say, oh, well, therefore there should be weeds. Oh, therefore you deserve weeds. No, it's explaining it. It's the explanation for why bad things happen. So then you try to work with it and not create the future ones. Meanwhile, try and change the present. Do you see my point? But it applies to the good things as well. But we never think of those because we take those for granted. We seem to have an assumption, and this is the point we talked about, I think when Eva mentioned, wasn't your point? We have an assumption we deserve good things, but we have an assumption we don't deserve bad. But analysing it carefully, in Buddhist philosophical view, there's no logic to that whatsoever. That's a bit like saying, I deserve money in my bank. How come there's no money in my bank? We know we would never say that. Why? Why would you never say that?
because it's illogical.
No, why would you never? What's the simple reason why you'd never say, how dare there be no money in my bank? What's the simple reason?
I can't think of one.
You can, of course you can. Who puts money in the bank? Whose bank account is it? It's your bank account, isn't it? So who puts money in the bank account? So if there's no money there, who didn't put money in the bank account? Therefore, it's your bank account. Therefore, it's your responsibility. So to say I don't deserve it is hilarious. So deserve implies someone else doing it to me. It's very interesting. Deserve implies someone out there should be doing it to me or shouldn't be doing it. Buddha says not like that. That's the point. Do you see my point? It's very interesting.
Yeah, the cause and effect.
So, but keep remembering that it's all the good things as well. All the good things as well. Every single second that someone believes your words, is kind to you, is loving to you, you have good health, good things happen, you have food in your mouth, that's the fruit of countless past virtuous actions. Everything, like everything in a garden is not just random. So everything in your life is not a random event. And this is what something we really take time to get because we don't think of it like that at all. Do you understand my point? Yes, yes, and yes. Go, Eva.
So what you're saying is that I am who I am because of my past life.
Yep.
But I can change this.
Yep.
For the future.
That's it, darling. That's the essence of it. That's the bottom line.
One question. The other question is, what if I feel that I have to kill the mouse?
Yes.
Or because, well, say it's not a mouse, say it's a snake.
I understand.
Kill my daughter.
I understand, darling.
Right. And so, how do I purify myself?
No, I understand. But before you purify it, you would do more than that. You would also. It's a bit like asking. It's a bit like, so first of all, you've got to get the principle clear. So if you've got the principle, the basic principle of botany is that